I have a slight problem now. The rain has come down, and then somebody comes, digs them up, and then sells them. Hey y'all, it's Ro. A few weeks ago I did a video showing you guys drag racing in Berbice for the first time. In that video I would have mentioned that I'm the person responsible for setting up the timing equipment and so on. So this past weekend the GMR&SC held the final round of their 2025 drag racing series, and of course I had to set up the equipment and stuff. So I said, why not, let me just show you guys what goes on behind the scenes of setting up all this equipment. So I'll pretty much show you guys all the equipment and then explain to you how everything works and then show you how I put it all together. So if you're curious about how a drag racing system works, keep watching. So the first thing we had to do is get all this equipment here out of storage. So a quick summary of how everything is put together. First, this is our main control booth here. And from here we have our computer, which is connected to everything on the track here via some cables that we run over there. You'll see two poles on both sides of the track. The cable goes across there, and then on the left side of the track, I don't know if you can see on the ground over there, there's a quarter mile of cable that goes all the way down to the end of the track over there, and on the other side of the track there's the same thing. And then at the end of the track we have some more sensors, which are the finish line sensors, which when connected will basically tell you when a car crosses the finish line. So to start, we'll go and start unwrapping that cable there and take it all the way down to the finish line, and then after that we'll do the same for the right side of the track. We're about quarter way now. We got all this distance ahead of us, and the rain is about to come down, but I have a little bit of protection. And in case you're wondering why we do this manually and not on a reel, usually the reel is easier to roll out, but when it comes to packing back up, the reel takes a very long time because you have to pack it, roll it really neatly. And then after we've had 2 long days, it takes about 5 to 6 hours sometimes after a long Sunday and Saturday. So the method we use here of just wrapping them up is way faster. Right, so this is the finish line, and I finished rolling out the left side of cable on the track, as you can see here. Now it's on to the right side. Alright, on to wire number 2 now, all the way down this side. And if you're enjoying this video so far, just a reminder to hit that thumbs up for me. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet and you like the kind of content I post, if you subscribe, it would help me out a lot. So I have a slight problem now. The rain has come down very heavily, and I'm still in the process of rolling out these wires, but I'm gonna go take shelter in my car now because I'm still getting soaked even though I have on a raincoat. So the rain lasted probably like 10 minutes, and it gave me a chance to cool down a little bit. and I managed to finish this section of cable here. So now both sides are complete. Over there is the left lane and over there is the right lane when you're facing this direction, which is where the track runs. So time to head back over there to our timing booth and grab some lunch, and then I'll start on the cable that goes across the track. And it looks like there's a lot more rain expected for this afternoon. And in case you're wondering why we don't bury the cable at the side of the track, well, I don't know who it is, but whenever there's no races, a lot of the stuff here is vandalized, stolen. So it'll be risky because out of the whole timing system, the cables are the most expensive part. So we don't want to risk burying them and then somebody comes, digs them up and then sells them, and then we're short of cables and have to spend a lot more money on cables. So I usually grab lunch from M&M Snack It in is that Bagotstown, where the Harbour Bridge, well, the old Harbour Bridge is. At the time I usually come up in the morning, nowhere else that I would eat from is usually open. So today I have some chow mein with some chana. And some of you will be like, Ro, where's the meat? Well, I actually don't eat any meat. Alright, lunch break is over. So before I start putting everything across the track, I'll do a quick sense test. Since all the wires are here and all the sensors are here, it's easier to test while I'm in here rather than wait until I lay everything out. So we'll do that first. First thing we do is we connect our 12 volt battery. Make sure I have the right positive. Right, so Rami's over at BM usually lends us a brand new battery for every drag race, so shout out to BM South. So the 12 volt battery essentially powers the sensors on the system at the start line. The start line sensors are powered by the 12 volt battery, and then the sensors that are at the finish line all the way at the back there are powered by an adapter. So we have power in the system. So next thing we do, we collect all these sensors. This one here is for the left lane, this one is the right lane, and this one matches with the left lane, and this one matches with the right lane. Right, so everybody's connected, and how we know that they're working, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a solid red light there. There's one here, there's one here, and we don't have one here. So I need to recheck this connection. Alright, it's on now, so maybe it was just the plug needed to be pushed in a little bit more. Good, so all our sensors are working, which means we can go ahead and start taking the wire across on those poles. Alright, so cable is up on both sides, and now the next thing we're gonna do is attach this cable here that goes all the way across the start line here to this guide cable up here. Good, so we got the main signal cables hooked up on our guide wire now. You can see it goes all the way across and all the way to the left side. So next thing we do now, we're gonna go hook up our sensors. So these sensors basically tell the computer system when the two cars are at the start line. In drag racing, there are essentially two cars, one on the left and one on the right. Center, left, and right. So I'll show you all what it looked like when I was testing it. This is it on the track. That's the one on the left lane. And this is the matching one that governs the left lane. And then on the right lane there's this. And over here, there's another set that matches. So essentially how these work, they send a beam across, and when the tire of the vehicle comes and blocks it like this, it lights up the what we call the Christmas tree. Two of the lights at the top come on, and then as the car rolls further forward, it activates this front sensor and both of the lights come on. Now usually when the two top lights come on, it would indicate to us that the driver is ready to go, and then we basically wait on the second driver to do the same, and that gives us the signal to say that we can start the race at any time. So when I'm finished with these, I'll show you guys how the ones at the finish lines are. It's similar to this, but it doesn't have this middle sensor, it just has a reflector. So now we're on to the fun part, which is aligning these sensors. So these two have to align with those two over there, and the same on the left with those over there. So we're essentially looking for a solid red light. This one is blinking, so it's not aligned. This one is aligned, so thankfully no issues there. Sometimes these take 5 minutes to align, sometimes an entire hour or more. So we hope the alignment gods are with us today. Today is one of our luckiest days. It didn't take more than about 2 minutes, maybe less than 2 minutes, and everything's aligned. So next thing we're on to now, we're gonna go down to the track, down to the end of the track, and set up the finish line sensors. So we are at the finish line here now. There's this faint line you can see across here, and so we have one of these sensors here So this sensor sends a signal to this thing here, which is a reflector, and it basically bounces back the signal over there. So when the car is past this line here and it breaks the signal, or it breaks the beam rather, it sends a signal back to our timing tower all the way there, and the same on the other side in the right lane. And it will tell us the time it took from when the car broke the beam at the start to when it crossed here. And when you compare the two and their reaction times and so on, that's how you essentially get the winner of a drag race. So let me show you what's in this little box here. Now if you remember the cable that I ran earlier, this box here connects to the cable with this, and then this box has another wire that connects to this sensor. And in order to power this box here, we have this little nice little, it's kind of like a power bank, but like a more advanced power bank. This is our first time using this. We've used generators in the past, but the logistics of setting up two generators here is a little bit hectic. So try to embrace technology a little bit and make things a little bit more simple. So yeah, I'm gonna hook up everything now and then do the same thing that I had to do at the start line, which is align these sensors and make sure I have a solid red light. So after I finished aligning my sensors that you would have seen in the previous time-lapse video, I then went down to the start line to basically start the system and do my tests to run the two lanes and make sure they were working all right. When I did turn on the system, I got an error showed up on the Christmas tree. So we basically had to figure out what was causing the error, and eventually we narrowed it down to the left lane wire. And then we had to do some continuity tests, and eventually we had to run through almost the entire quarter mile of wire, inch by inch, to find whatever issues there were there. Earlier in this video I would have mentioned that we've had cases of vandalism and people damaging wires and stuff. So what happened to the last race meet, somebody stole some of our wires and then cut some up, so we end up having to use old wires, and that's where the issue came from for this event. Nevertheless, we worked probably until 10 in the night and we fixed the issue. We did our tests and went home. Unfortunately, it was so hectic and so busy, I didn't get a chance to video and show you guys what exactly we were doing. Fast forward to the next morning, I go up to the track and everything's all right, and I start putting in my bulbs in the Christmas tree, and whilst I was doing this, one of them broke and sent a feedback to our main box, which probably damaged a transistor or something, so we had to run the day without one of the lights, but thankfully it wasn't one of the critical lights. Anyways, we did a practice session, we did qualifying, we ran elimination for the 16-second and the 15-second, and then we started getting the same issue that I was having the previous day. At that point, it would have taken too long for us to try to pinpoint where exactly the issue was. So we essentially had to make the decision to continue the rest of the races the old school way. Basically a hand drop start, and we had somebody down at the finish line to determine whether the left lane or the right lane was the winner. But at the end of the day, we successfully completed the event, and regardless of the issue with the wire, which we will actually have to buy brand new wires again for the next event, and hopefully no more issues. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing something different from me today. and seeing how drag racing works behind the scenes in Guyana, or at least the setting up part of the timing system. Thanks for watching.